that isn't meant for you. All right, Pisces, let's get into your reading. All right, the energy coming through today is this, and it carries a weight you will feel. This person who once kept their distance, they are shifting toward you in ways you never expected. The pull toward you has become something they genuinely cannot ignore, and it rewired their whole perspective. What used to feel like rejection was never about your worth. It was their inability to receive love. That wall has crumbled now, and they feel exposed in a way that terrifies and awakens them. The exposure freed something tender inside of them, a softness they locked away for their own protection. They are not tiptoeing back into your world, they are running with raw urgency in their chest. Everything shifted for them recently, and there is no pretending it did not happen between you two. The longing they carried in silence finally broke through, and it overwhelmed every single excuse they held. You became the one thought they could not shake, the face behind every quiet and vulnerable moment. And now that suppressed devotion has turned into momentum, and they are choosing to act on it fully. Let us go ahead and dive into this because the cards confirm what is unfolding between you. The first card we have for you is the Empress, and she carries deeply magnetic and abundant energy. The Empress reveals that your presence alone, without any effort, drew this person right back in. Something about how you hold yourself, your composure, has awakened a profound longing they once buried. Your warmth, your grounded nature, your softness, it all became a mirror of what they truly crave. They looked at you and realized with sudden clarity that no other connection ever felt this nurturing. She does not chase, and that is precisely why this person gravitated toward you on their own. You embodied patience without even trying, and that quiet strength pulled them closer with each passing day. The abundance you radiate naturally is something they felt even from a distance, and it unsettled them deeply. It forced them to question every decision they had made, especially the one to walk away from you. That questioning turned into regret, and that regret turned into a decision they could no longer postpone. They could not outrun what they feel, and the more distance they created, the worse that ache became. Your energy lingered with them in moments they did not expect, and it softened their stubbornness completely. Nobody else compared to you in their mind, and that realization hit harder than they ever anticipated. The next card coming through is the Eight of Wands, confirming rapid movement heading straight your way. Whatever hesitation once lived inside them has dissolved entirely, leaving behind nothing but emotional certainty now. This card carries a deep urgency beneath it, like something clicked and they simply cannot slow it down. Gestures, words, firm decisions, all of it arrives faster than you anticipated because they committed fully. The Eight of Wands shows that timing has finally aligned, and what felt frozen now flows wide open. Movement is happening swiftly around this connection, and they are making choices aimed straight at commitment. It is no longer a question of whether they want you. That answer became undeniably clear to them. Then we have the Lovers, and this card is the confirmation that their intention is genuine partnership. They are not returning for something casual or temporary. They want full emotional depth and intimacy with you. This card shows a conscious and deliberate choice, one where they picked you over every single distraction. When they examined their life without you, they felt an emptiness that absolutely nothing else could replace. What catches my attention is the sincerity behind their return, because this card surfaces for authentic love. It is not loneliness or boredom driving them back. It is purely that you are the one chosen. All three cards in this reading point toward the same truth. This person deeply regrets walking away. The energy surrounding you right now is magnetic and swift, and they feel every ounce pulling them in. So when I tell you this person wants a real relationship, the cards leave no room for doubt. They come running to you because they finally understand you were the blessing they almost let slip away. Now, let us come in close and talk about where you stand, because your side matters deeply. You have been carrying a heaviness that most people would never notice, and it wore you down quietly. There were nights where you questioned everything, wondering if you imagined the whole connection inside your head. That doubt crept in slowly, and it planted itself right in your confidence until it shook you apart. But underneath all of that uncertainty, you never fully let go. And that says everything about you. You held on to something invisible, a thread of knowing that this bond was never truly broken. The ache was constant, and you masked it so well that nobody around you understood what you carried. You smiled through it, kept moving, showed up for your life, but inside you felt heavy and unsettled. The first card is the Queen of Cups, and she mirrors where your emotional state has been resting. You've been processing everything internally, absorbing each feeling without letting anyone see how deep it went. The Queen of Cups shows a person who loves with immense depth, even when that love brings suffering. You gave more than you ever admitted out loud, shielding your vulnerability behind composure and steady grace. An intuition inside of you has been whispering, something is not over, and you felt that voice constantly. You tried to rationalize it away, tried to move forward, but that inner knowing refused to stay silent. Your emotional intelligence has always been sharper than you credit yourself for, and it guided you through this. Even when logic told you to detach completely, your instincts held firm and kept you anchored to truth. You sensed things before they unfolded, and that awareness became both a gift and a quiet burden. Trusting your own feelings felt risky after everything, yet deep down you knew your heart was not wrong. The next card we see is the Four of Swords, and it speaks to the exhaustion you carried. You reached a point where you simply could not overthink anymore, and you chose stillness over spiraling thoughts. That rest was not surrender, it was preservation, and it was the wisest choice you could have made. You withdrew not from weakness, but from a deep need to protect whatever peace you managed to build. The Four of Swords confirms you entered a season of recovery, and it was absolutely necessary for you. You stopped chasing answers, stopped replaying old conversations, and finally gave yourself full permission to breathe. In that silence, something shifted within you, and clarity began replacing the confusion that suffocated you before. You started recognizing your own value again, slowly at first, but with a steadiness that felt unshakable now. That healing was not loud or dramatic. It happened in private moments where you chose yourself over chaos. You rebuilt your foundation one quiet day at a time, and nobody realized how much strength that took. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles, and this card validates the independence you cultivated through that period. You learned how to stand firmly on your own, and that self-sufficiency became a genuine source of pride. The Nine of Pentacles shows you reached a place, finally, where you no longer needed outside validation. You found comfort in your own company, your rhythm, and your ability to create stability from absolutely nothing. But beneath all of that composure, a truth still lingers, and you feel the pull deep inside you. No matter how deeply you healed or grew, a part of you remains quietly open to what unfolds. You are not desperate or waiting around, but you are honest enough to admit that feelings still linger. That honesty is not weakness, it is maturity, and it reflects emotional courage few people possess naturally. Your heart is guarded but not closed, and that distinction matters more than you realize in this moment. You stand in a position of earned strength, someone who endured the ache and came out still loving. Standing tall is something you earned fully, because everything you endured shaped you into someone remarkable. All three cards confirm you have done the inner work. You healed without bitterness and grew without resentment. Whatever unfolds from here, you face it from a grounded place, and that stability is something you earned. So, let us go deeper into what is happening on their side, because it tells a full story. There is a war going on inside of them, and they have been fighting it completely alone. The feelings they tried to bury kept resurfacing, and each time they returned, stronger than before. They told themselves it was over, convinced themselves they moved on, but nothing they did worked. Every attempt to forget collapsed, because the memory of what you shared refused to fade away. They carried your name in the back of their mind, even when they pretended otherwise to everyone. The connection you built together left a permanent mark, and they feel its absence in everything they do. The guilt they feel is enormous, and it has been eating at them in ways they cannot articulate. They know they made a mistake, and the weight of that awareness sits heavy on them daily. The first card coming through is the Knight of Cups, revealing deep emotional movement stirring inside them. The Knight of Cups confirms they have been overwhelmed completely by feelings they did not anticipate returning. This is not casual missing. This is a visceral ache that follows them into every quiet moment. They wake up thinking of you, and they fall asleep replaying moments they wish they handled differently. The knight rides forward with his cup extended, and that mirrors what is building within their heart. A romantic offering is forming inside them, one they have been afraid to bring forward out of shame. They fear rejection deeply because they understand that what they did gave you every reason to leave. The idea of approaching you terrifies them, not because they doubt their feelings, but their own worthiness. They wonder constantly whether they damaged things beyond repair, and that question haunts them relentlessly at night. Pride kept them distant for a long time, but that pride crumbled under the pressure of longing. The next card is the moon, and she uncovers the confusion and fear clouding their internal world. She shows someone trapped between what they want and what they believe they actually deserve to receive. There are layers of insecurity beneath their exterior, and those insecurities drove the original distance between you. They pulled away not because they stopped caring, but because the depth of what they felt frightened them. The moon confirms that illusions played a massive role, and they convinced themselves leaving was the safer path. They built a false narrative where walking away protected them, but the truth underneath never changed at all. Fear of vulnerability kept them locked inside their own emotional prison, costing them more than they expected. They watched from a distance as you kept living, and it stirred a jealousy they never expected. Seeing you thrive triggered something raw inside them, and it forced a confrontation with feelings they suppressed. The moon also reveals that sleepless nights have become frequent, and their subconscious keeps pulling toward you. Then we have the Seven of Cups, and this card exposes the fantasies and regrets swirling through them. They have been imagining different outcomes, replaying scenarios where they chose differently and stayed instead of leaving. The Seven of Cups shows a mind flooded with what ifs, and not a single one excludes you. Every fantasy they entertain leads back to the same conclusion, that you were the realest thing they had. They idealize the moments you shared together, and the contrast between then and now devastates them silently. The emptiness they feel without you is relentless, and no distraction has managed to fill or ease it. Other connections fell flat because nothing matched the emotional depth they experienced, and they recognize it fully now. They compared every interaction to what you gave them, and every comparison left them feeling hollow and empty. They cannot escape the weight of what they walked away from, and that burden grows heavier daily. Their inner world right now is a storm of regret, longing, and confessions they carry behind closed doors. They are terrified and desperate in equal measure, caught between reaching out and fearing it is late. All three cards paint a portrait of someone consumed by what they lost, unable to pretend it faded. The emotional reality on their side is raw, and every card confirms they never truly let go inside. Okay, let us see what the cards are showing because this part is all about movement and action. Something is already in motion on their end, and they are not waiting for permission anymore. Decisions have been made, firm ones, and those decisions are now turning into visible, concrete steps. A plan to reach out is forming quickly, and the approach they are taking feels deliberate and sharp. This is not a slow build anymore. This is someone who crossed the line into full commitment. The hesitation that kept them frozen before, it has been replaced by focused drive and clear direction. The first card is the Chariot, and this confirms forward momentum that cannot be stopped or reversed. It shows someone charging ahead with conviction, no second guessing, and no looking over their shoulder at all. They have locked in on you as the destination, and every step they take points directly forward. The direction they are heading is unmistakable, and nothing about their trajectory suggests hesitation or retreat. Expect contact that feels bold and different from anything offered before, because their entire approach shifted. The chariot reveals that obstacles which previously blocked them, whether pride or fear, got pushed aside. A path is being cleared between you two, and they are removing barriers they once placed themselves. Conversations they avoided before are now ones they intend to start, and they will not hold back. Plans are forming rapidly, and they involve creating space in their life specifically designed to include you. A message may come first, something carefully worded, but unmistakably direct in what it communicates to you. That message will carry a tone you have not heard from them before, stripped of all pretense. Do not be surprised if they reference specific memories, because those moments serve as bridges back. What once felt like distance between you is actively being closed, and the pace of it quickens steadily. Physical proximity is part of their blueprint now. They want to see you and stand before you. The next card is the Ace of Wands, and this brings a surge of initiative and fresh energy. The Ace of Wands confirms a new beginning being actively pursued, not just considered, but already moving. The first step is being taken by them alone, without waiting for you to open any door first. Bold and decisive action defines this card, the kind that removes all ambiguity about where they stand. Action is replacing thought, and every move they make reflects someone operating with complete certainty about you. New plans center around reconciliation, and they involve tangible gestures that go far beyond just spoken words. Priorities are being rearranged, schedules shifted, and room is being made for you in measurable, concrete ways. This card carries an urgency suggesting timing is close, and their next move arrives sooner than expected. Drafting ideas is over for them now. They are executing plans, and the momentum behind each step builds. Practical changes are already underway, and they reflect someone who made a decision and committed to following through. Resources, time, attention, all of it is being redirected toward you with a precision that feels calculated. Then we have the Page of Swords, confirming that communication is the vehicle they have chosen to use. A direct conversation is coming, one that cuts through silence and addresses everything that was left unspoken. The Page of Swords shows someone gathering words carefully, rehearsing exactly what they need to say to you. Precision and honesty guide their approach, and they intend for every word to land exactly where it should. Indirect outreach may have already started, subtle signals testing the waters before the full approach takes place. Small interactions, brief comments, reactions to your presence, all of it is strategic and heading somewhere specific. The page confirms that clarity is their goal, no mixed signals and no vague intentions remaining. Full transparency is what they are building toward, a moment where they lay everything out and ask clearly. The groundwork has been laid, and everything from here is execution rather than contemplation or second guessing themselves. All three cards point to action already underway, deliberate and aimed directly at reconnecting with you soon. The movement is real, it is happening now, and their next step brings them directly to you. Now, let us go deeper into this, because what they hide tells more than what they show. Beneath everything they present on the surface, there is a full confession they have never spoken aloud. They want you in a way that goes beyond romance. They want to be completely known by you. The desire they carry is not just physical or emotional, it is spiritual and rooted in permanence. They secretly imagine a life built entirely around you, one where pretending is no longer necessary at all. The words they cannot form are simple. You became their definition of home and of true belonging. The first card is the Star, and she reveals the most vulnerable layer of what they conceal inside. The Star tells me they see you as their healing, the one who makes everything feel safe again. They have never admitted this to anyone, but you are the only person who quieted their inner chaos. In their most private moments, they replay your voice, your laughter, and the calm you brought to them. A confession they guard fiercely is that without you, they feel directionless and spiritually hollow inside. Hope is something they lost when they walked away, and they recognize now that you were its source. They fantasize about telling you all of this, but the words dissolve every time they try to speak. The vulnerability required to confess at this depth terrifies them because it means surrendering every wall they built. Hidden most carefully is how often they think about you, and the honest answer would truly stun you. It is not occasional or passing, it is constant, woven into the fabric of their daily existence. They compare every person they meet to how you made them feel, and nobody has ever come close. That comparison haunts them quietly because it confirms a truth they tried desperately to outrun and deny. No substitute exists for what you gave them, and that absence carved a permanent space inside their chest. Silence became their shield, but behind it lives a devotion so consuming they barely know how to carry. The next card is the Two of Cups, and this reveals the deepest romantic confession living inside them. The Two of Cups shows that what they secretly crave is full union, not a half hearted return. They dream of standing before you with nothing hidden, offering themselves without any mask or emotional armor. Partnership at the soul level is what lives in their unspoken prayers, and they want it with you. The Two of Cups confirms that they privately view you as their equal, their mirror, their true counterpart. They have whispered your name in empty rooms, replaying what could have been if they chose differently. Refusing to admit publicly that they already consider you theirs, even from a distance, protects their pride. Possession is not the word for it. It is devotion, a quiet claim their heart made without permission. The depth of their private longing would overwhelm you because they have rehearsed confessions they may never deliver. Then we have the King of Pentacles, and this card uncovers a confession tied to stability and future. The King of Pentacles reveals they secretly want to provide for you, protect you, and build alongside you. Imagined plans include shared spaces, financial foundations, and a life constructed with you standing beside them fully. This is not casual daydreaming. It is a blueprint they have mentally drafted in painstaking detail alone. The king shows someone who hides their desire for domesticity because admitting it makes them feel too exposed. They crave mornings with you, ordinary routines, and the quiet comfort that only genuine partnership can offer. A place has been reserved for you in every version of their future, without exception or hesitation. Growing old with you is something they have already pictured, specifically, and that vision never faded once. The confession buried deepest is their certainty that you are the one, and that belief never once wavered. All three cards expose someone whose hidden truth is far more intense, more raw than anything ever shown. Every unspoken word, every suppressed desire, every silent confession points to the same undeniable conclusion about you. An overwhelming love lives inside them, and the only barrier between that truth and you is their fear. Indifference was never real, it was performance, and behind that performance lives a person aching to confess everything. Okay, let us bring everything together now, because the near future holds something beautiful for you. What is coming next is a reconnection, one that feels entirely different from anything you experienced before. The energy ahead carries clarity and alignment, where both of you finally meet on equal ground. Expect a shift within the coming weeks, one that brings them into your space with honest purpose. The first card is the Sun, and she confirms that warmth and renewed joy are entering this bond. The Sun reveals that the fog between you lifts completely, and what replaces it is mutual recognition. Happiness is not just possible here, it is inevitable, because the foundation was always genuinely strong. Light returns to this story, and with it arrives a version of them you have been waiting for. The next card is the Ten of Cups, confirming emotional fulfillment arriving in a very real way. The Ten of Cups shows a partnership rooted in shared devotion, built with intention and lasting commitment. What approaches you is not temporary. It is the kind of union that transforms both lives permanently. This card promises that the outcome aligns with your deepest desire, a love that finally feels whole. Here is my advice as you move through this transition, and I truly want you to hear it. Stay grounded in who you became during the healing, because that version of you is your strength. Do not rush to meet them halfway out of excitement. Let them come with full accountability first. You deserve words backed by consistent action, and you have earned the right to expect nothing less. Protect your peace fiercely, because it took tremendous courage to build, and it should not be traded. When they arrive, listen more than you speak, and let their effort reveal whether it matches you. Trust your intuition above everything, because it guided you through the hardest season, and it remains sharp. You do not owe anyone immediate forgiveness. Take your time and let trust rebuild at your pace. So, the message today was this: the person who did not want you now wants a relationship. They come running to you, and every card confirmed that their return is genuine and deeply real. The Empress showed your magnetic pull, the energy that drew them back without you needing to chase. Eight of Wands confirmed the speed at which they move, rapid and direct and aimed at you. The Lovers revealed a conscious choice, a decision where they deliberately picked you over every distraction. Queen of Cups mirrored your emotional depth, the way you loved fully even when it brought pain. Four of Swords honored the rest you chose, the sacred stillness that allowed healing and quiet recovery. Nine of Pentacles validated your independence, the self-sufficiency that became your greatest source of quiet pride. Knight of Cups exposed the romantic surge building inside them, devotion they can no longer contain or hide. The Moon uncovered their fears and illusions, the internal confusion that kept them frozen and distant. Seven of Cups revealed fantasies consuming their mind, every what-if scenario that always led back to you. The Chariot confirmed unstoppable forward momentum, a drive already carrying them straight toward you without hesitation. Ace of Wands brought the spark of a brand new beginning, bold first steps already underway now. Page of Swords showed honest communication approaching, words chosen carefully and delivered with full transparency. The Star exposed their most hidden vulnerability, the confession that you are their healing and deepest peace. Two of Cups confirmed their desire for complete union, partnership built on equality and genuine soul connection. King of Pentacles uncovered their secret wish to build with you, stability and permanence, all with you. The Sun promised renewed joy ahead, a chapter filled with warmth after everything you endured together apart. And the Ten of Cups sealed it, emotional fulfillment and a love that lasts beyond any chapter. Every single card across this reading pointed toward one truth. This love is real, and it remains. You are deeply loved. You are chosen, and the one who walked away is coming back to you. Hold on to your worth, trust the timing, and know that what is meant for you will arrive. Thank you so much for being here with me today. It means more than you could ever know. I am sending you love, sending you light, and I will see you in the very next reading.